So, wasn't my intention to start off with stats, but I needed to for this topic because I feel like understanding why people are stuck is very, very important. Um, and that was actually surprising. I didn't think that this will be the numbers. So around 40 to 60% of people in South Africa who were surveyed, so they say that it was about 2,400 participants were surveyed, and 40 to 60% say that their life and where it is and where it's going is already predetermined by outside factors. So it's not in their control. It's their puppets.
Okay, interesting stat.
I know, that was kind of scary for me. 40 to 60% is a bit high.
But like for me, what it shows is 40 to 60% of people believe that they don't have a choice in what they do.
And that's even more terrifying. It almost feels like it's one of those things where it's like circumstances or whatever it is has put me here and that's it. I'm done. This is how my life is going to turn out. And do you think like it's also one of those things where it's like I look at my parents and I go, well, my parents' life turned out like that, so my life's going to turn out like that?
It could be. I don't think it is. I think people have these dreams and aspirations to, I'm going to be different. And then they hit the real world.
Oof. Real world's crazy.
And so I use the example of, my eldest daughter has been living at home and she's been using, mom's car. And so she decided, right, it's time for her to go get a car. And the world dictates that she can't have a car. And I say that in terms of because at the age of 25, she's doesn't have any credit. She doesn't have any debt. She hasn't. And, I'm very grateful that I kept saying to her, go and open an account.
Yeah.
And she kept saying, I don't need an account. And I said, I know you don't need one, but you will.
Eventually.
You will need one, so go and open one. And she's like, it doesn't make sense. Why do I need to get myself into debt? And of course, off she went to Woolworths and Mr. Price and Truworths and Edgar's and all of these different clothing stores and was told, sorry, you can't have an account. You don't have any credit. If you get some credit,
we'll give you credit.
We'll give you an account. And so the world dictated. So anyways, she then went off to get, it took, I think, 6 months to get an account with a particular store. And I think she bought a dog blanket for like 150 Rand or something and then paid off every month 20 Rand or something ridiculous just to get credit. But anyways, she then decided now it's time to go buy a car. And she was told, sorry, you can't buy a car. You don't have, your credit rating's not high enough. And she's like, but I don't have credit. I can afford the car. And they're like, yeah, but we know that and we can see that. But you don't have credit.
Yeah.
So you go get some more credit. And when you've got more credit and you've got yourself into more debt, then we'll think about giving you a car. And suddenly the world is dictating what you can and can't have.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the challenges is that if you have not been taught to think outside the box, which unfortunately school doesn't teach us that, what do you do? What are your next steps?
Yeah.
Like, how do you go and finance, like, how do you create debt if you don't have any? How do you, generate, credit?
Yeah.
And the world's saying no. And everywhere you go, it's like, no, you need to get some debt in order to have some credit. But sorry, the bank won't even give her a credit card because you don't have any credit. And your credit scores, because you don't have any credit, your credit score sucks.
Yeah.
Well, go figure. And I suppose it's the same as you come out of school, you've got this nice degree and you say, right, I'm going to go apply for a job. And they say to you, but you need experience.
Yes.
And you're like, but I don't, I need
Study.
a job to get experience. It's like, no, but we're not going to give you a job until you get experience. And it becomes this catch-22 because the world is dictating what you can and can't have. So people's dreams are being shattered with these upsets.
Okay.
And therefore, they then believe that they have to do what they're told. So I now need to go and open, I don't know. So, yes, fortunately, Michaela's quite resourceful, and she got on the phone and phoned a whole bunch of people and said, what do I do? How do I sort this out? I mean, she was, like, in my mind, she definitely was like, I am fixing this. I'm going to sort it out now.
Yes.
And, I mean, she got letters from the clothing company to say that she'd never missed a payment.
She's all paid up.
You know, and she told them to, you know, send it to the credit bureau, and she got all these things done. And then she found a really nice product from Discovery Bank where it's a credit builder account. So you can get a credit card, but it's only for 300 Rand.
Okay. Nice. That's
and then as you build on your credits,
you get more credit.
You get more credits, which
cool.
I thought was really amazing. So I don't mind promoting
There you
Discovery on the podcast.
Good job, Discovery.
Because it's great that somebody has seen that there's an issue in the market, and they've come up with this product. So it's just understanding that, you know, you build your credit score, and then it's okay, cool. So now you are starting to take some control back of your life.
Yeah.
Which is, in terms of Michaela, that's what she's been trying to do. But a lot of people don't know they can do that. So they are like, they sit in this upset of, I'll never have a car. You know.
Defeatist.
And it's because we're not taught to think differently. We're not taught to do those things. So what happens is there's an upset, and then somebody goes, oh, well, stuff it, I'll never have a car. And then they're resigned to, you know, I know things have changed now, but they're resigned to, I have to have a company car.
Yeah.
So wherever I go,
that company has to provide
the company
a car.
has to provide a car. If they can't provide a car, I can't get a job there. So I'm now limiting myself based on, I need a company car.
Oh.
And so it's outside of my control, but all because I had an upset, or, you know, my dreams were shattered because somebody said no.
Yeah.
And that's where, you know, in terms of, we look at these things that trap life force particles. One is, you know, shock. Our dreams got shattered.
Yeah.
Into a million pieces. Or there's an upset. Someone said, no, you can't do that. So it's just, most people don't understand that they hit a stop, they got stopped, and then they think that that's the end.
Yeah.
Because there was this big upset, and it's like, oh, I don't want to experience that again. So now unknowingly, I'm giving control of my life to somebody else.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are with us for the first time, welcome to the Uncovering Greatness podcast. I am your host, Sully, and I am joined by Nicole Mitchell. Nicole is the lead processor at Uncovering Greatness, and what she does is help you get out of the way of you, but more importantly than that, she helps you find out what you want, and she helps you get it. And I think, you know, for me, before we started this, and before I came up with this topic, I was like, man, we've been saying this for a long time, right? You help people get out of the way of you. And then I thought about it, and I was like, how many people actually, and I mean, like, do you think, truly believe that they are the problem?
Nobody believes that's the problem. I know that I am often the problem, but don't tell me I'm the problem, because I don't want to know that.
I'm not saying that I'm telling you that. I'm saying
I get it,
telling you that. So you don't have. So let's just hypothetical. There's something you want.
So let's use the example of, I want a car.
Yes.
Okay. It is not my fault that the banks won't give me credit.
Okay. It's the bank's fault.
It's the bank's fault.
The bank is preventing you from having what you want to have.
Yes, it is 100% the bank's fault.
And it's done, and I'm not going to have the car.
No. And
Go on,
so,
next thing, whatever.
if I'm truly honest, I'm the one that didn't pay my Woolworths account. I'm the one that didn't pay my clothing accounts. I'm the one who didn't, I mismanaged money. I'm the one who, I don't know, didn't look after my bank accounts and close it when I should have. I'm the one who did all those things.
Yes.
So if I'm truly honest, I am actually the problem, not the bank.
That's what I'm leaning towards here. Because I feel like, for me, these, like the stats that we read out in the beginning, to me, what it says is, I'm giving away, and I understand it, it's easier, I've done it, damn, I know that it's, for example, it's something that you and I are working on in processing right now. I've given my power to somebody, it's their fault, it's not my fault. I'm a great person, I'm a wonderful person, that person is an asshole, because they are preventing me from having what I want to have.
Correct.
And
it's really simple when it's like that. It's easy.
It is.
It's so easy to blame others.
Yeah. It really is.
And this is where, like, you ask the question, how many people actually believe that they're the problem? Very few.
That's terrifying.
Because it's hard to take responsibility for your actions.
Yeah.
I don't want people to know that I mismanage money.
That's embarrassing.
Correct.
It's very embarrassing.
I don't want people to know that, I don't know, whatever it is, the things that I got trapped in, or, like, maybe I don't know, I started working for somebody and I didn't get a contract, and then they didn't pay me. I don't want people to know that I was that stupid.
Yeah, how can you be so stupid to not get a contract so you can get paid?
But if you actually look how many people have done that, it's huge.
Multitude people. Way more people. And I think that's the interesting thing about what you said earlier, because I feel as though people look at something like a shock or an upset and go, it's got to be catastrophic.
Well, it does feel like that in the moment.
No. If you get, like, let's just say you go and you apply for a car, like you're saying, they tell you don't have enough credit. In theory, that's not really catastrophic, right? It's not a car accident, or it's not the loss of it's not that big. It's, oh man, I applied, I didn't get credit, man, this sucks.
But even if it was, for example, a car accident, and you wrote your car off, and it's a big shock, and you go, I'm never buying a car again.
Ooh, interesting one.
And, people make decisions based on those big things, but they're not actually catastrophic, because, you can get your car fixed, you can get more money, you can, there's lots of things you can do to move forward. And it's not to say that everything's going to be a bowl of roses, because it's not. But there are ways that you can move forward. There are plans you can come up with. The problem is society's dictating that, no, you screwed. That's it.
It's game over for you.
Yeah.
So how do you handle a shock? And I mean, let's kind of stick on that money one. I like that one, because I think that I feel like most people go through that, right? It's very hard for you. I feel it might be hard for you to relate to an accident if you've never been in a car accident. But it's probably more likely that you've done some stupid things with money, because most of us have. So
we invested in something that we shouldn't have, or somebody kept, we got scammed. We got ripped off by a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or all those kind of things. Most people do relate to those, yes.
I'll tell you about the time I got scammed.
I don't think so.
It was a shock. It's still with me today. Because I thought I was getting a deal, and I thought I was getting the best deal in the world. It's a pair of Jordan sneakers for 1,500, Black Friday special. And in your heart, when you know that this...
it's too good to be true, but you're denying the fact that it's too good to be true, because you really wanted to.
But what if it's not, Nicole? What if it's not too good to be true, okay? What if it's real? What if I paid my money?
And?
Have you seen you Jordan sneakers?
Never.
I got scammed. Like, what? And it was weird because in the moment I knew genuinely that I was stupid, but I wouldn't allow my wife to know that I knew I was stupid for doing what I did, because now you're gonna know that I got scammed, and that's like super embarrassing. Because now it's also it was one of those things where it was like it can trickle into anything now, because it's like, oh, you can't manage money. You see a deal and you just jump at it. And I was like, yeah, I can't really tell you the full truth of how stupid.
But that's where, all these investor deals are so, what's the right word? People are very skeptical because they don't know if they're going to get scammed or not.
No, true.
And more people than not are getting scammed with money, and it's just people so desperately want it to be real. They desperately want it to be, real.
Yeah, it has to be.
And it's out of that desperation that scammers, like, they take your money and run because you're desperate to, and instead of doing the research and finding out and speaking to people, and then people have upsets and shocks, and they're like, I'm never going to buy anything ever online again.
Yeah, I was that person. And that's why I'm going to ask you, how do you deal with that shock? How do you deal with something like that? Because you can't, it's not to say that you can't live your life not buying online. You can, but it kind of is a bit unrealistic in a sense.
And so it's important for you to actually, one, admit that it was a shock.
Okay.
To actually stop and look, and often when people acknowledge that, yeah, that was a huge upset.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it's important for you to look at what is the actual upset. Because generally it's not the loss of money that's the upset.
Okay.
What's the upset?
That is scammed, and it's embarrassing.
Yes.
The upset is the embarrassment.
And also, the upset is, how could I be so
stupid? That's true. And I'm very sure somebody's watching and, will be watching, and they're going to go, yeah, how could you be so stupid?
And that's where it is. It's just understanding that the more you can admit the moods, the feelings, the thoughts that happened or were created, like, man, I was an idiot. Oh, how could I have been so stupid? Like, that, like, it's created so much embarrassment. And, I'm actually angry that I didn't listen to myself.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed and irritated that my little voice was saying, don't do this, and I did it anyway. And the more you can start to acknowledge those things, all the moods, the feelings, the sensations, the easier it is to become aware of what actually happened.
Okay.
So the problem is most people don't acknowledge the moods. They're not willing to admit that they were angry.
Yeah.
And they'll be angry at the scammer.
Yeah. The scammer's fault. They scam me.
Like, how could people do that? Instead of, how could I do that?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't I listen to myself or listen to my wife or those kind of things? And then you start to look at the emotions and the feelings that you're feeling, and then the shock or the upset will start to release. And then you can go, well, what was I trying to achieve? What did I get stopped from doing?
Okay.
So I got stopped from, having a nice new pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was my intention? Well, my intention was actually to look and feel good. Oh, okay. Well, I to be honest, I don't really need those shoes to look and feel good.
Interesting. Then.
I could maybe find something else to make me look and feel good. Okay, great. Now what you're doing is you're kind of going, okay, cool, I can move forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can still look and feel good without those shoes.
And I think it's important also to acknowledge that you're not, at no point in time are you saying, just get over it. To acknowledge it, be aware of it, but also understand what is tied to it. It's not just that thing. It's actually not the shoes. It is actually looking good, feeling good. Okay, well, how do I do that now because like, okay, I don't have the shoes. I got scammed. It is what it is. It's done. Does that mean it's done? Does that mean I can't look good ever again?
For some people, they make that decision. I'm never going to look good again because I don't ever want to be scammed.
Yeah.
And it sounds silly
Ludicrous.
and ludicrous, but those decisions are made subconsciously. It's like the person that has a car accident, they get upset and it's like, I'm never going to buy a car again. Or I'm never going to drive on the highway again.
Yeah.
And then what happens is they get themselves to a point where they have to drive on the highway and they're shaking and beside themselves and they can't do it and have panic attacks. And it's why? Because they made a decision subconsciously that they would never do that again. And then they get forced into it and it creates all this anxiety and panic attacks and things. And it ties up our life force. And it ties up all our energy because we spend all our time worrying about, to get there, do we have to drive on the highway?
Yeah.
Or to go to that function, do I need to look good?
Yeah.
Well, I can't, I don't know if I can come because, I don't have a pair of really good sneakers. So, and...
No, I just thought about something, sorry.
Yeah.
Where I definitely trapped a few life force particles. A lot. Actually, not a few. A lot. There was one time when I was in CBD and there was a protest that I didn't know about by the Red Berets. And I turned into a road and I'm in it now. I'm in it. There's no way out. And these guys, because now they are assuming, this is what I'm just assuming, that they were assuming that I'm just trying to force my way through. But I didn't know that there was a protest, but now I'm stuck. And these guys are slapping on the car and swearing at me. And I was like, it's so weird because I remember for a while I kept on saying, I don't like driving in CBD because there's no, people don't follow the rules. I actually made a lot of excuses as to why I don't want to drive in CBD. And as you were speaking, I actually realized, no, I didn't want to drive in CBD because I didn't want to end up in a situation like that again, because I didn't like the feeling that I felt where I was like, I am genuinely trapped and this is going to go very badly.
Yeah.
And I don't speak Zulu. I don't speak anything, which is going to make my life worse. Because these guys are going to be like, oh, you think you're better than us? And I'm like, oh, man, nobody said that, guys. I'm just lost. Help me. And it's interesting because it wasn't a conscious thought.
No.
Like, and as you were speaking, that's why I was like, it came back up. And I was like, oh, that's why I didn't want to drive.
Because you're sitting in this upset of, because that's quite scary.
Yeah.
When you've got a crowd of people surround your car and they're banging and...
What am I supposed? I've never been here before.
And I have done that before. I mean, I have driven into the middle of a taxi rank.
Oh.
And there's only one way to go.
Yeah.
And it was like suddenly my car was surrounded by what felt like 500.
Exactly. It could have been like 10, but it felt like thousands. Yeah. I'm with you.
I mean, this one guy said to me, go up there and turn around and get out. And I was so grateful that somebody could see that I was lost. But it's terrifying. And it's like, I'm never going to, never going to the Joburg train station again because, I got lost this one time.
Yeah.
But it's just understanding it wasn't that I got lost, because I got lost many times in my life driving. No, I got lost in the middle of a taxi rank in the middle of Joburg. So it is, and it's same sort of thing. It's like understanding that, oh, that's actually why I don't like going there. It's not because I get lost, or it's not because I don't know where I'm going. It's because that fear of what if that happens again.
Yeah. And I mean, CBD is also just it's a maze of turns. And then it's one of those that some are one ways and some are dead ends. You don't know what it is. And that's for me, like the way I explain that, it's also like it's an extreme case. It doesn't really happen that often. But if we tie that back to like where people end up stuck and where people end up in shocks that but the shock happens, but you just keep on going with your life, right? You don't
because
really.
you have to.
Yeah.
Well, in that instance, you have the upset of I'm stuck and there's people banging on the car and it's scary and all these things and I have to get out of here. And then you get out and then it's like I still need to go to wherever the store that I was going
stuff
to.
do.
I still got to get there and I still got to get home.
Yeah.
And so we keep going. And we don't stop and acknowledge that that was actually an upset or a shock or something that jarred our emotions. You know, like a blow.
Yeah.
Like a spiritual blow, because it's like it blocks. You know, it's a jarring.
A spiritual blow like that.
And so it's understanding. It would be the same as somebody like punching you or hitting a wall or that sort of thing. That physical stuff, but in terms of the emotional stuff, it's spiritual. It's because we don't actually acknowledge the effects, and for some people that are in that situation, they don't feel the effects when they're in it. They like if you were driving, I've got to get out of here, and you manage to get out, and then you're halfway home, and you're suddenly on the highway. This rush of emotion hits you, like, oh, thank goodness I survived that. Like, you don't understand how scary that.
I think I probably smoked like 6 cigarettes in like a minute just because I didn't know what to do. And exactly like you say, it was like this release, but I was like, what? And that was the weird part. The release ended up getting tied to CBD, not to the situation or what happened.
And it would be the same if we go back to the money story. It's exactly the same thing that happens because people get dealt this blow of you can't.
Yeah.
And they suddenly go into, well, I don't understand. Why not? What? And they may not feel it in the moment. They may feel it. They may feel it in the moment. They may feel it later. They may feel it like 2 days later. And this is the thing with those spiritual blows is they come at different times for different people. And so what happens is people don't actually associate it with that event.
Yeah.
So that in your case, I've got to get myself out of here. I've got all these people surrounding me. You get yourself out and then you arrive at your destination and then the blow hits you. And so you haven't associated it with back then.
Yeah.
You associated it with the whole
city.
Correct. Instead of, and because that was the moment the emotions hit you when you got out.
Okay.
So you kind of look and go, oh, well, that must have been why, because I got out of the city.
I feel relieved that I'm out of the city, yeah.
Instead of that, oh, wow, that was exhausting. Like that was so draining. Driving home was draining. Okay, well, what caused it to be draining? Oh, I was resisting those emotions hitting me of the fear, the anxiety, all those kind of, whether it's desperation or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And understanding that that's actually what was happening. And that's where people's life force gets tied up and then they get stuck.
Yeah.
And so it's understanding that upsets, shocks, like call it a paradigm crash. It feels like your whole world collapsed. Those kind of things trap our life force particles.
That's interesting. Because I'm just thinking about this post, and I'm going to delve into the post that's on our Facebook page right now that's going haywire. I feel like a lot of that is based on... So, you could tell me about a shocking time in your life or a shocking experience that you've had, that you went through. You and I are close. Could I then take that on? Could it be a shock to me to hear that about you, for example?
It could be. It could be also like a negative flow of force. So let's say I've had that experience of you've been to the CBD, you got stuck in. So what you then do is you go and say, it's not safe for you to go in the CBD.
Yeah.
You can't go. Like, I won't let you go. It's not safe. You know, there's gangs in there, and there's this and there's that and blah, blah, blah. And what you do is it's a negative flow of force onto me because that you can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it creates an upset in me because there's this negative flow of force.
Got you.
And so I'm getting stopped from what I want to do with that negative flow of force. And so it creates an upset, or that sort of, it traps my life force particles because, you know, Sully said it's not safe for me to go into the CBD. So I can't do that.
Yeah.
And I give all my power to Sully because Sully said it's not safe. So I can't go.
Yeah. And I feel like that makes a lot of sense to me, because I'm like, if X person said X person is bad, I'm going with that notion, right? I'm going to go with that, and it's going to trap me to believe that Nicole is bad, and that's what it is, and it's game over, and it's done. There's no two ways about it. I'm not going to take the time to actually go, wait, but why? Or was it Nicole actually, or was it something else? There's so many more things that could be tied to it, but it's a lot easier for me to, like you're saying, give the power and go, okay, cool, I agree with what this person said. Nicole's a bad person, and that's all that matters, and I'm going to believe it. So so then would we then be creating a sort of a series of stuck people?
Or correct,
Yeah.
because I can't go into the CBD because Sully said so. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to go because Sully told me that it's not safe for me, and you know, I need to be safe. So without even realizing it, people are giving away their power to somebody else because that negative flow of force is way stronger than my ability to push through things, and this is unknowingly.
So that kind of be similar to like environments greater than will.
Correct.
So one, I'm stuck. Oh, you have something to read.
Read it. So this is from Alan C. Walter, who wrote this book, The Secrets to Increasing Your Power, Wealth, and Happiness. And basically, he says the 5 things that track life force particles are when a person has unresolved past paradigm crashes, upsets, shocks, incidents of opposition by negative flows of force, and then out of integrity. You know, times where we've done things we know we shouldn't, that out of integrity, and then drug or alcohol incidents. So, like, I know that's more than 5, but if we put it into drug and alcohol, out of integrity, negative flows of force, and then shocks and upsets.
I actually think those are 5 great ones.
So it's just understanding that upsets and shocks, like an upset is you set up to do something and you got upset because the setup was changed or incorrect, and then a shock would be you know like a paradigm crash. It's like the whole world crashed on top of you. There was a shattering of your dream, that sort of thing. Then incidents of opposition by negative flows of force we spoke about. Times of out integrity, and I think we kind of spoke about that because when we're out of integrity, we kind of know we shouldn't be doing this. We do it anyway. So you know, it's like you knew you shouldn't have been buying those shoes.
Out of integrity with yourself.
You were out of integrity with yourself because you went and you bought them anyway, even though you knew you shouldn't.
100%. Look at all.
And what that did is created upsets.
And
it traps your life force. But if you're truly honest, you were out of integrity with yourself because you knew you shouldn't have done it.
And I mean, that can be as simple as, I'm going to wake up and go to the gym in the morning.
Yep.
And you don't. That you are now you've started your day out of integrity with yourself, which then creates an upset, which then says, well, actually, you know what? I'm actually going to stop saying I'm going to go to the gym now. And then I don't go to the gym. Then I put on weight. Then I end up with some condition. And it all comes down to that one moment where you're out of integrity with yourself.
Correct.
That's a crazy ripple effect.
Yep.
And a lot of it is, and like you said, like a lot of it is subconscious. It's not a lot of it is actually not thought out. And I think that's one key takeaway that I've taken is like a lot of it is not thought out, but also would you say that it also comes from the fact of not knowing what you actually want to achieve? What is like you said with the shoes, the want is to look good. The shoes will make me look good.
So it comes from a place of also not being willing to do the work.
Okay.
So in terms of, well, the Air Jordans were $1,200 or whatever they were, you know that they're normally $3,000 or whatever. so it's like, we're gonna take a shortcut.
Ah, damn it.
So
I knew you were gonna say this.
so it comes from not being willing to do the work.
Right,
That's the out of integrity, is you're not willing to do the work. So it's like the gym. I'm not willing to do the work. I'm not willing to get up. So that's where I'm out of integrity. Yeah, it kind of sucks, hey?
It is a psyche win. It is. And I mean, I feel like that's, if we go like even back to the start of it, like you said about, Michaela, she could have gotten stuck in that. I can't have it. They said no. But instead she went and she picked up the phone and she figured out a way to get what she wanted. Whatever that was, whatever that looked like, she was going to do.
But she did it ethically, morally.
Yeah.
And like, how did she phone? I mean, I didn't know you could phone the credit bureau and you can ask them, how do you improve your credit score? And she phoned the banks and she phoned all sorts of people. I was blown away by
how do a training on this.
Resourceful.
She's incredibly resourceful. Wow.
She was, in terms of, phoning the department store and going, you stuffed up on my credit score.
Get it done now.
Like, I'm like, how do you know that no, look, it's here. And I didn't even know you could do that.
That's crazy.
But she did. And so she took action. And she was, yes, it was an upset, but it wasn't that much of an upset that it trapped her life force. She's like, I'm going to resolve this. How do I move forward? And she went into like solving the problem.
Yeah.
How do I solve this problem? Rather than, can't do anything.
And I think, like you also said, they're legally, ethically, and morally, right? There's a system that's in place. That's the system. You don't have credit. You haven't created a credit score. You can't get X. That's the system. I can't skirt the system. I can't do anything about the system. And I feel like sometimes that's what happens with people, is like, oh, well, I mean, right now there's a system that's in place that may suck for some and may not suck. It is what it is. But what are you willing to do legally, ethically, and morally to get what you want? I was just thinking about when Barry was teaching at the last Ignite Your Sales, and he was like, if you want money, just go rob a bank. And you have the money. That's what you want, right? If you really want it, do the work, go rob the bank, and now you'll have what you want.
Or just go buy lotto tickets continuously until you get the money.
Hopefully. All of those, but funny enough, all of that still requires work.
Yep.
You still have to do some form of work, unfortunately.
Correct. And that's the thing, is like, what are you shortcutting?
Damn. What are you shortcutting?
So it's just understanding that that's pretty much what happens when you're out of integrity. There's a shortcut somewhere that you're trying to, or something you're avoiding. Like, I look at people that go and have affairs, they're out of integrity with themselves, but it's a solution to a problem. And the problem is, I don't want to address X, Y, and Z with my wife or my husband or that kind of thing. And it's just understanding that it was a solution to a problem. But in order to fix that, they had to go out of integrity. And that's where it's, I mean,
that's crazy.
It's scary, but people avoid things. So the solution was, it's easier to find somebody else to talk to than to have the hard conversation with the person close to me.
And it doesn't, I don't know, I brought up affairs, but
Sorry.
It doesn't, no.
They're just common.
It's another great example, right? That's weird. Money affairs. These are common things people connect with. But I think that makes a lot of sense because, yes, you don't want to have a hard conversation. So I am going to circumvent it, avoid the hard work, avoid the hard thing, take the easy way out. But then when I get caught, I'm going to blame you.
Yeah, it's your fault.
It's your fault that I couldn't talk to you because you know how you are. You know that.
Well, that's easy. Instead of, being prepared to sit down and have the hard conversation, because the reality is at some point with affairs, that hard conversation is going to come out anyway.
Yeah, that's true at some point.
So, you can only hide for so long. And then if we go to, in terms of that out of integrity, it's a tough one, but it's more common than people think. It's like you say, it's the little things like, I was supposed to get up and go to gym this morning.
Yeah.
Or, I said I would eat properly. I'd have a protein shake, or I'd do this, or I'd cut out chocolate. And it's like, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow. And then it's like, what's the point, I'm
not going to stop anyway, man. That's ridiculous.
And so it ties up and traps our life force without us even realizing it.
Yeah.
And then the last one, drug and alcohol incidents, is generally when we've had too much to drink, we do stupid,
crazy things, wild things, yeah.
Or we have drugs and we do stupid things. And it's because it's, I say, substance induced. We do these stupid things and then we feel bad and guilty afterwards, and I shouldn't have done that, or how could I do this? And it's just like,
I'm never drinking again.
And then we go through the never drinking again until tonight.
Until the next upset occurs. And that's also an interesting one, right? Because like upsets and shocks can lead to alcohol and drinking.
Correct.
And
because I'm sitting in an upset, I don't know what is wrong with me. I don't know why I'm so upset, or why I'm so frustrated, or why I'm feeling so down. But if I have a couple of drinks, I'll feel better.
Yeah.
So I'll go have a few drinks.
Yep.
And then what happens is it reduces our, what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of, it's kind of, we kind of just go, oh, well, it's okay. Or what happens is, we realize how angry we are, and it's okay. I've had a few drinks, so I'm going to find the biggest guy in the pub and take him out.
Yes. Oh, got you.
Which then leads to more upsets. It's then, you see, I shouldn't have gone drinking, and I knew I shouldn't have gone drinking, and it becomes this vicious circle because we were sitting in an upset.
Yeah.
Then we had a shock.
Yeah.
Then we went out of integrity because we knew we shouldn't have gone out. Then we had the substance abuse.
Yep.
And then there was that negative flow of force because some arsehole in the pub told me, you're an idiot. And I decided, well, what the hell?
Yes.
I've had a really shitty day and I don't care, so.
Thank you for draining the body.
Yeah. And without even realizing it, one thing led to the other, which is a downward spiral, which then, 5 days later, we're sitting going, oh, I feel so sorry for myself. And then we're sitting with our shrink and, our
processor. It's interesting that you say that, because it's exactly the same as when people have hard day at work, or hard day, my boss is an asshole, my job sucks, I'm gonna have a couple of drinks, feel a little bit better, go home, my wife is being an asshole, my wife starts fights with her, so now all of a sudden I'm creating upsets everywhere based off one thing where I actually could have just addressed it, for example, with my boss and been like, hey, don't speak to me like that, or I apologize for not being able to deliver, or
and just, okay, so how do we resolve this?
How do we get back on track?
And so, it's not to say that your boss, you can resolve it with your boss, because some people can't. But are you taking ownership for the part you played in getting to that point? Because often, we signed the contract.
Yeah.
We did that. Nobody else. Nobody forced us to do it. We did those things and we put ourselves in that position.
Yeah.
And, for some people, it's like, they continuously put themselves in positions where there's a bully all the time. And it's just understanding, is that something that you are creating? And just, are you willing to actually look at that and acknowledge that, oh, wow, that's what I actually do. I always create it. I put myself in a place where there's always a bully.
Yeah, people don't want to do that. It's the boss who's the asshole. Like, you've had six of the exact same person. You've had 6 jobs with the same person.
And it's just the more you can recognize it and go, oh, wow, I'm the one that does that. I bring that into my space. Okay, cool. Well, what would be the optimum positive of that?
Yeah.
The positive would be to have, a good working relationship. Okay, well, what does that feel like? What does that look like? And people often get stuck in that. I always have a bully for a boss, so you're no different.
You're gonna be
So
a bully.
I need to drink because all bosses are bullies. And then they create that. All bosses are bullies. So no matter where they go in the world, they're going to create that.
And then when they become a boss, they become a bully.
Correct, because
that's
what they know. And so the cycle repeats itself.
Yeesh.
So, yep. Interesting times.
Interesting times indeed. Any final thoughts before we wrap up this craziness?
So I think the biggest thing is, it's how do you recover life force particles from those? And it's just understanding you can recover your life force from all of those things, the shocks, the upsets, the negative flows of force, out of integrity, drug and alcohol incidents. It's look at the moods and look at decisions you made, or those subconscious thoughts, and what were you trying to do? What were you trying to create? And when you can look at those things and put the positive things back, you can shift yourself out of that and recover life force. And yeah, there's many ways to recover life force. But just in terms of some really basic ones are just look at the moods that those incidents created.
So it's how it made you feel.
Yeah, look, what moods did it create? So I was embarrassed, I was disappointed, I was angry, I was upset. With who? Actually, I wasn't upset with the scammer. I was upset with me because it was me that put my money online.
Yeah. Scammer didn't take the money out of my account.
I gave it to him.
I gave it to him willingly. I said, what's your banking details? Tell me those details and give me the PIN as well. I need it.
Yep. So it's just when you can look at those moods and and I think the other thing is actually experience them. So go, okay, I was embarrassed. Well, what does embarrassment feel like? What is, and the more you can experience those moods, the easier it will be to push through those upset shocks.
No, I think for me, it is interesting because it's like, yeah, it is what do you want? And yeah, I just think that anything that you want is going to be, it's going to take work. It's not going to be easy. I think that a lot of people want it to be easy, me included. I'm not sitting here saying that I don't want it to be easy. I'd love it if it was easy. But yeah, I think that especially with this type of thing, with upsets, with shocks, with all these things that just prevent us from moving forward and having what we want, it's a journey.
Absolutely. It is a journey.
It's a crazy journey.
But it can be a lot more positive and you can have more control, because I think that's the thing, is people feel trapped, and it's understanding you don't have to feel trapped. You can have more control over the things you want, the decisions you make. And so for me, that's really one of the biggest things, is making people aware you actually do have a choice.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. If this was your first time, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing to subscribe to our channel. If you found value, if you didn't find value, you don't have to subscribe. That's all good. Thank you all, everybody who has commented. We appreciate it. And thank you to all the new subscribers that we do have. We hope you guys enjoy the journey. We hope you guys enjoy the learnings and the teachings. If there's anything that you guys want to know from Nicole, you can leave it in the comment section and we'll get back to you. So thank you guys for watching, listening, and we hope you have a blessed week. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.